Goodyear Hotline. I'm Brian Custer in for Zubin alongside Keyshawn Johnson. And, man, the two-time MVP is down. We'll find out later today how severe it is. But, I mean, if you're in the city of Milwaukee, this series is now tied up at a couple of games, and your leader, one of the guys who's the face of the league, has got a knee injury, and you're just hoping that maybe it's hyperextended, maybe it's MCL or something that you can play with like Embiid did. But if that's an ACL, man, that's got to be devastating for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, you don't want to have any injury whatsoever, because if he's done or missing time and can't be at full strength, I think the Milwaukee Bucks will be done. Just watching Trae Young on the sidelines, he did look like he was pretty happy. He was moving around pretty good. I think he comes back for Game 5. And when you think about it, Chris Middleton's the only guy, and maybe Drew Holiday all of a sudden have a moment. And if that's the case, then they could be challenging to Atlanta. But if Giannis isn't playing, the Bucks can forget it. The fan base, what they call a little Buck Arena outside or whatever that thing is,
Right.
They might as well go home, pack that thing in. I think when you talk about Giannis's ability to score points and be a force in the middle and play defense, the first 3.5 quarters of a game is important to them, because it then allows Chris Middleton to do what he needs to do to close things out. If he's not there getting you that 30 points in those 10 rebounds or so throughout the course of a game, where you going to find that from? Where you going to get that type of production? And I think that's key. Without Trae Young's production yesterday, everybody else started to step up.
Yes.
But Bogdanovich did his job.
Yep.
Lou Will did his job. Capella did his job. And I think that's by committee. And that's what you have to have when one of your key players or your star player is not there. When you think about the Clippers and Kawhi, when Kawhi went down, everybody else started to play better. Even the big game that Kevin Durant had that we talked about, yeah, Kevin Durant may have had a Hall of Fame monster game, but all those little guys, ancillary pieces around, started to show up. The Blake Griffins of the world had a moment or two. And I think that is what has to happen in Milwaukee if they plan on advancing into the finals.
How do you think the league, man, is looking at this like, man, you got to be kidding me? Because you look at where we are in the playoffs, and I think we talked about this before we even got on air. The Jazz, Donovan Mitchell gets injured. You got Kawhi, you talk about with the Clippers, he gets injured. And now all of a sudden you get here and you're in the Eastern Conference Final, and Giannis, the two-time MVP, is down. Now we got to find out how long, but man, all of these injuries, and you take a look at them from James Harden, Anthony Davis, Embiid, Chris Paul, all of these guys injured.
Yeah, look, the injuries do happen in professional sports. Okay, the 72-game season, they started early. I want to say that starting early has no effect on these particular players' injuries. Kawhi ran into someone's knee. They bumped knees or whatever, and so his stuff buckled and came down kind of awkward.
And didn't look as severe as what happened with Giannis.
Yeah,
and you can see what happened with him.
But it doesn't need to be severe. Just a little bit of a tweak is something happens. You think about Kyrie Irving, came down on Giannis's foot. You think about Trae Young. Trae Young's out of bounds. The ref is standing there. He's next to the line. He backs up. Boom, ankle. You talk about Anthony Davis, fell down kind of awkward. But Anthony Davis has had some injury history here and there, little nicks and bruises. Chris Paul, he didn't miss time due to the shoulder.
Right.
He missed time due to COVID. So that's a little bit different. LeBron James, somebody fell on his ankle. So as I start to look at all of this, it has nothing to do with starting the season earlier. And I understand, I'm all with the players, man, give me as much rest as possible. They shouldn't be coming back so soon. But I want to stop this narrative that's out there that people putting in the air, like these injuries are happening because they started early.
Because it's basketball plays.
It's basketball plays. Like, think about it. Kawhi ran into someone. Kyrie landed on the ankle. So landing on somebody's ankle is because you started early. I mean, they do need their rest, though. There's no question about it.
And Giannis was basically trying to break up an alley-oop.
And Giannis was playing defense.
He's playing defense.
Is that early?
Yeah.
No, that's not because you came back early. It's because I tried to play defense and I came down awkward and landed and my knee buckled.
And so this is an issue for Milwaukee, not only with Giannis, face of your franchise, the two-time MVP is down. Now, all of a sudden, it's 2 games apiece. Yeah. And the bigger issue for Milwaukee is the way you went about this game. Because as you walked on the floor, you knew, okay, Trae Young's not starting. Because that news came out, like an hour or two before the tip. All of a sudden, Milwaukee played like they had this game already in hand. And you know what? Atlanta went right upside their head at the very beginning as soon as they tipped off the ball. If you don't believe me, I want you to take a listen to P.J. Tucker talking about not only the loss of Giannis, but the way his Bucks played in this game.
It's not good losing anybody on your team. Lose your best player, it stinks. But we didn't come out with energy tonight. We thought we were just going to walk in and win the game. We didn't do anything to be able to show that we wanted to win this game tonight. We were flat, and our Giannis injury was just another piece of the puzzle of us losing.
Well, he's right there. You come out flat.
We walked in and just knew we were going to win this game.
Well, you got to go in confidence, and then when they not playing their star guy, you get more confidence. You okay, cool. If we just do what we do, we should win the game with no problems at all. And all of a sudden you look up, it's like, oh, damn, we're behind. Then you look up again, and Giannis is down. So now whatever little air you had is gone. It's completely gone. Because now you're like, well, how the hell are we going to come back and we don't even have Giannis? And I know you saying, well, you professional, you're supposed to, gut it out, tough it out. We've seen people in these situations, teams come back from behind. It's hard, man. It's not that easy to just turn on and turn off a switch.
They better get it right because this series is going to be really interesting. And I tell you what, Atlanta has got a lot of confidence. Heck, we could see the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA Finals.
And that would be fine.
Yeah.
As long as Trae Young plays, I'm okay with the star power that's left because I got Chris Paul, who I'm rooting for, and I think most of NBA fans is rooting for Chris Paul. We got DeAndre Ayton, who's young. We have Devin Booker, who's young and up and coming. And so that's plenty of star power to be focused in. It may not be the most sexiest of opponents, but it's still some star power. You'll have Monty Williams in as a head coach,
yep.
And then you're going to have Nate McMillan in as a head coach. What more you want?
Yeah, there you go. Keyshawn J. Will Zubin. It is presented by Progressive's Home Insurance. Get your quote at progressive.com today. So will Mac's attack be enough to knock off Cam? We'll talk about that. That's next. KJZ, ESPN Radio, ESPN app.